Yeah, we sort of just gone through training and opposition, so we haven't had time. I think that's sort of up to Andy and Greg to have a chat about that and see where we go with that. But I doubt whether we push on with an appeal. Oh, well, they make the outcome. You know, we would have. You know, we're disappointed. Chris is not playing, and he's disappointed as well. So yeah, that's they sit down, take all the evidence, and then they make the decision. Well, I didn't see any of the you know, the media comments or people that have commented pre the tribunal hearing, so I can't really comment on that. I don't know what they said or if anything was said, so you know, yeah, I can't really comment. Well, he's Mark on the panel, is he? Yeah. Well, that's up for the AFL to decide whether that's what you do or what you don't do. Make the comments before the hearing, or do you just sit back and, like normal judges, and you know, you just wait and make those calls? That's up to the AFL. That's nothing to do with the Carlton Football Club. I think that's something that the AFL will look at to see if that's the best process, that you know, make comments before the tribunal hearing. I've worked with Chris for 5 years, and I've been involved in football at senior level since I'm 19 years of age, so 20 odd years, and his character and what he does as a leader, and yeah, he's in the best people that I've seen play the game, and the spirit that they play the game too. And there was, you know, I can tell you, Chris wasn't there to harm him. It was an action that with the tackle. Anyway, he's been done. He's got 4 weeks. But if you talk about character and what people bring to the game, he's one of the finest that I've seen. Well, the outcome is what it is. So it's 4 weeks and we move on, and we've got the Western Bulldogs who will put all our energy in and try and get that 4 points. Well, it's like any court system or any tribunal or any case. You put your case forward, and knowing Chris, I can vouch for Chris every day of the week. I think he's one of the finest people that I've met, not just in football but in life. He's very level-headed. You know, he's a great family man, and the way that he has empathy for people is, you know, he's outstanding. I think he regrets, you know, how it went, and yeah, he's sorry. He's sorry in a lot of ways. You know, getting reported, getting the 4 weeks, letting the team down. If it injured a player, he doesn't go out of his way to inflict injury onto people. So yeah, I think he regrets the whole incident. Yeah, well, you know, I think he gets judged fairly hardly across the land, and I suppose the role model status that he sets and the way he conducts himself. I think if he does anything out of turn, I think there's a bigger spotlight on him than most of the other players in the competition. So yeah, he had a regretful moment. I think most players have in their time in the game. He's played for a long period of the time, so I think when you look through most players' record, there's something there that. And maybe the game now is there's more scrutiny because of the cameras, the more media. Was there things going on in the past that people have never seen? I'm not sure, but I can vouch for him any day of the week. I understand why Chris doesn't look at the papers, and I'm with him in his camp now from you know, over the last few years. But yeah, there's a lot of beat up about him as an individual in comparison to some of the other incidences that have happened throughout the season. Yeah, whether that's the respect of the media in regarding him, or they're trying to look at him as one of the greatest players of the game's ever seen. I think so, but yeah, there's a big beat up on him most of the time. It's hard to tell, you know, with the hurly-burly and trying to, was the player facing upwards, was he facing downwards? You sort of had to have a closer look because I think someone was laying on him as well, so whether you could see someone was... whether the player was facing the wrong way. So the arm movement then is a completely different one. Is it up and easy, or is it down and out the back? So I had to have a look at Adams there in regards to that. But yeah, I thought it was very uncharacteristic by Chris.
So but you maintain though, like he said, that his intention was to stop him?
From handball? Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, I think whether he just got the tackle process wrong, and yeah, it was just, you know, it was a bad technique, and the way it's panned out is a big mistake on his behalf. Oh, I think it was more of a technique thing than trying to go out there and do it. If you look at his form since the break, and it's been outstanding. He's tried to lead this group of men, and what he did on the weekend in that game, personally, just in his performance, was thank goodness he was there, because that margin might have been a fair bit more than what it was. I wouldn't mind the scrutiny on all. I find that pretty offensive, really, because the players tried to not disallow the player. There's no way that we have any form of tackle technique that goes out there to do that. I think the scrutiny could go through a lot of teams and a lot of the vision, if you want to put the time into it, which I don't think people do, have the same scrutiny as they do on Chris Judd and the tackling technique of all the teams in the competition. And I raise my voice, and I probably find that pretty average that we go down that path to try and isolate it onto our football club, when we could show you vision everywhere and the different angles that there is in the competition. There's tackles that could come under enormous scrutiny, but this one was fairly visible and was easy to detect, and it becomes now a focus that our football club goes out of our way to do these types of things. It's not right, and it's not fair. I'm not sure. It's their decision, and we can't change that. The decision's been made. It's 4 weeks, and we'll move on and play. Well, that's a cheap shot anyway. It's trying to find angles and a cheap shot. John's tackling, he's been involved in Brisbane, Fremantle, Hawthorn, Melbourne, St Kilda, and our football club, and he's been fully employed by our football club for 2 years. So do we go through and have a look at all those clubs' techniques as well? You do. It was Friday the 13th last week, so I thought that just that worked really hand in glove with that date. It's one of those seasons. It's been, we seem to get. It's a bit like snakes and ladders, isn't it? We go up the ladder and then we come back down because of circumstances. So it's one of those seasons that we, it hasn't gone great for us in a lot of areas of the game, and I know we'll be a lot better for it going forward. In some of the things that we do, and how we manage the players, and even from the lesson that we got with that tackle from Chris, I think we'll learn a lot from things that have happened in 2012. You throw our best and fairest winner, Mark Murphy, in there and say, Murph, you've had a week under your belt, and now let's go for it, and you just replace the skipper. So, I think with Mark, playing last week, that's a real bonus for us. So, hopefully he can. He ran out of puff a little bit in the second half of the game last week, but probably due to the fact that we were one short as well, and we probably had a certain percentage that we'd like to have played him, but because Joseph went down as well, that made it fairly hard.